be muy inteligente because I recognize the AI, bro. Some niggas wouldn't. Some niggas would have watched that whole bitch. When your movie is too much to watch. What do you mean? Oh, have you ever watched Hidden Gems? Okay, we're gonna watch this video about the movie. See if you like it.
So this has to be one of the most uncomfortable scenes I've seen in a long time. And today I want to break down why Uncut Gems, and this scene in particular, feels so unbearable to watch. But before I get into that, a little context.
Would you show me something if I couldn't have it then?
You see, the other day I rewatched the film, and something struck me that I don't think people talked about much when it first came out. The opening.
Okay.
Mainly because it reminded me of another movie that on the surface has absolutely nothing to do with it. The Exorcist. I don't know if it's a conscious reference or just coincidence, but if you think about it, bizarre as it sounds, the two actually have a lot in common. Both begin with a prologue set in some distant corner of the world, in the middle of workers laboring under harsh conditions.
So they just
with
copied
the
The
idea of a
Exorcist?
cursed object. Only that, while in The Exorcist a demon statuette is unearthed, here it's the opal, the object at the center of the story, and the one that will ultimately seal Howard's fate. But it's not just movie curse. We actually see the miners working under harsh and unfair conditions for a foreign corporation. So, beyond all the symbolism, the stone is already linked to real human struggle. And that lands hard, because it isn't some abstract horror, it's the same reality behind the microchips in our phones or the clothes we wear, stitched together in factories halfway across the world.
You gave some from Ethiopia 100 grand for something you thought was worth $1 million. You don't see nothing wrong with that?
In other words, the film opens by telling us that this system only exists because of that initial injustice. And in a way, Howard is the personification of that system, always craving more and more until it eventually burns itself out. That's why he's the perfect character through whose eyes the Safdie brothers capture the suffocating nature of our time. That's why they've worked so hard to make the film feel almost like a documentary, not just through the rough handheld camera, but through the world it builds.
I forget Kevin Garnett's in this, bro.
There's almost a sense of resignation from the Safdies, as if the forces driving Howard,
that nigga might be the
ambition, and
best actor
consumption
that
are
actually
just
plays
laws
ball.
of nature.
I admit it. I made a bet.
A kind of energy that seeps into every corner of the world they've built, and it shows up in the smallest details, like the dozens of absurdly expensive objects with no purpose other than pure showmanship, or a gaudy necklace that turns Michael Jackson into some kind of messiah, as if fame, wealth, and success were our new religion.
I don't even know what to do with my money anymore. I have nobody to spend it with, nobody to enjoy my life with anymore. It's horrible.
Or even an old gambler bragging about having more money than he could ever spend, trying to buy Howard's girlfriend with it. And of course, all the people orbiting Howard.
When you win, it's all that matters. You know, the big be quiet, the big shut up, you know?
Garnett chasing athletic glory, Howard's business partners always looking to climb higher,
no touching.
even his girlfriend willing to play her own game if it means closing a deal.
Sell for me! Why will you sell it?
But the most striking examples are quieter.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
Like Howard's son casually betting on a basketball game, or the school play, where his daughter wanders into a forest looking for roses only to spit out gold coins.
What?
And like I said, capturing the essence of our era isn't just about what the film shows, but how it shows it. And in that sense, I don't think anyone has done it quite like Uncut Gems. Take The Bear, for example. To me, it's another work of the moment that also captures the spirit of our world. But there, even though the soundscape is relentlessly overstimulating, the visuals stay more grounded. It's fast and chaotic, sure, but there's a kind of harmony to the madness, almost choreographed at times.
Hey,
That was like
Car,
one
you still
scene
got
of
that
the
meat
show.
connect?
Maybe
fact
that's
you ain't even-
because in The Bear,
I
this is
get
the
it, but I'm
natural
like, the
environment
fact
for
you
its
even talk
characters.
about, oh, is that show with the restaurant? Like, that would have made
the
sense. You
pressure
talking
is
about the
something to
fucking
be
tomato
mastered,
money.
and as a viewer, you're forced to live in that whirlwind. And once you settle into it, you start to feel a rhythm. Almost like Carmi himself, you end up enjoying it. Here, though, there's no way the chaos can be enjoyable. Even in Howard's so-called victories, they don't really feel like victories. They feel more like fleeting highs, moments of pleasure that are empty at its core. Like when he wins his first bet, basically reacting like it's the happiest ending imaginable, if you know what I mean.
Everything I do is not going right.
Or later, when the auction goes south, but Garnet suddenly wants to buy the stone.
Okay.
See, I
In a split second, Howard swings from despair to euphoria. But it doesn't play like an achievement. It plays like a hit of something addictive, with music in the background that almost feels like it's coming from a slot machine. And we know, even if we don't want to admit it,
Bro,
this
I
can't
did not.
possibly end
I
well.
did not
And
get
of
all
course,
of
the
this
film
from
is
that
packed
movie,
with
man.
formal choices that put us
I was
right
maybe I
inside
gotta
Howard's
rewatch it,
state
bro.
of mind
I
and
was
the constant
confused half
rush
the
he's
time.
trapped in. Like the fact that Howard never stops moving, even when he's alone in a room. And the camera mirrors him, never staying
Nah, I was
still
awake.
either. But I think the clearest example of how the Safdies use editing, sound, camera, and performance all at once is in this scene. And that's what I want to dive into now. But
It was
before
a
we
heavy
get
movie,
into
so
this
it's like, you didn't
suffocating
even wanna
sequence,
sleep.
let me tell you about something that helps me unwind a little. Because just like Adam
Like, it's a lot
Sandler
to
surprised
focus
everyone
on.
with his comeback in Uncut Gems, today's sponsor, Raycon, is doing the
Bruh!
same, bringing back the everyday earbuds classic. Now,
Fuck-ass
with active noise
sponsorship, nigga.
cancel everything I do. Wesley feels playtime is that and not wanting to buttons. They've got
Bro,
just
don't
what-
show me
thanks
your
to
fucking
Raycon for-
ears, bitch.
So this scene happens after Howard lends the opal to Garnett.
What is
Let
wrong
me
with
hold
you?
it for a night then. Right? Let me wait till the game. No, I'm going.
And Garnett holds on to it for days.
They're waiting for us. Where's the fucking over?
Garnett got it.
And after trying over and over to get it back, he ends up calling Garnett's assistant to basically threaten them.
I'm streaming.
And I am a second away from hanging up right now and calling my lawyer and the police.
And of course, it's exactly at the moment when Garnett is already on his way back with the stone.
Kevin! Hey!
And what follows is 2 entire minutes of trying to get the door open so Howard can get back what we so desperately want him to get back.
Hey! Buzz the man in.
Right from the start, there's an intention to make us impatient, because in a movie where cuts are constantly used, and we're accustomed to a frenetic pace of action and editing, the Safdie brothers decide to follow the action in a continuous take that, with those small pans, gives us almost 3 seconds where we have no visual information.
this thing
And
is-
this
this thing
happens
is-
a
he's
lot in the scene, where the
way
camera
too
often
focused
doesn't
on the
cut.
movie,
We
bro.
don't do this, going from shot A to
Exactly
shot B.
once, and I
Instead,
felt
we
like
do this.
I had a long panic attack.
Building this sense of expectation,
This
where we
movie.
only have the sound of
Never
the
seen
doorbell
Adam
that
Sandler in a
logically
serious
bothers
role
us because
before,
from a sound design
and damn it, it
perspective,
might
it
be
chose
his
a
best
pretty jarring
performance.
one. And this is something we'll see constantly throughout the scene, with an
No.
orchestra of sounds ranging from
100%
tools,
sure.
the rattling of the door's glass panels,
It's not supposed
doorbells,
to be. I mean, there
and
might
of
be
course,
funny stuff,
lots of
but it's not
dialogue.
supposed to be.
But it's less about what's being said
You
and
wanna
more
watch
about
it?
how it just turns into background noise. And this idea of breaking conventions is especially evident in how the Safdies handle rhythm. Because usually what you're looking for in a scene is a balance between action, dialogue, and silence. You don't want long stretches where nothing's going on, and you don't want everything crashing down all at once
Okay,
either.
I think I
You
get
want
the
it to
point.
feel balanced. But here it's the exact opposite. You get these moments of waiting,
Hurry up. Be right there.
and then sudden bursts of pure overload.
Go at the gym. Okay. All right, good. There it is.
And this is something the Safdie brothers do all
Okay,
the
I get the
time.
point. I want something interesting. Receding hairline compilation.